Like to talk about C sharp reflection performance and how you can possibly get a little bit more leeway in your code in some particular use cases. So let's get started. Basically, I have a class which is a very simple class, and it has only one public property that you can access, so it makes it easy. What I'm doing is creating a class list and about 10 million members so we can see the performance. And we got the list. At this point, we are just starting a stopwatch. We are going to go through this whole list and do a getter. So an object dot number, this is just a getter, and object dot number will be set. So this is a setter, and I'll print the performance of how long it takes in milliseconds. So this is really just the normal way you would access a well-defined type, and so that's good. To do the second part of the test, I have basically restarted our timer, so it will be reset to 0 and restarted, so we can measure the performance. And this is using reflection. So what I'm going to do is whenever I get the object, I'll get its type, then it's get its property, which I know is number, and I'm just putting some flags that ignore the case, and we get the instance, and the binding flag is public, so it will get me that property. And from the property, I'm going to just use the get value method and give it the object and get the value, and I also use the set value, and it's basically exactly doing the same thing as the above method. And we'll get a time elapsed with reflection value here. Then I've written a third way, assuming you have a use case where you're accessing some of this delegate repeatedly. What you can do is you can just actually create these delegates statically. In this case, I'm calling it the setter delegate. So what you do is you just call delegate.createDelegate, and you will have a type of action here. Basically, it just takes as an input my class and returns an integer in my case, because I know what is the property number is integer. So you create that delegate here, and you have a get set method. So this is for the setter, and for the getter it's also done through the func my class int, because yeah, so the setter is also there and the getter is also there. And I'm setting the value to 5 just to make sure that this new thing is going to work. And we can check the performance of this. So let's just quickly look at the performance. At least on my Mac, you can see the normal way of doing it is cost 269 milliseconds. Reflection is quite a bit slower, at least 3 times slower, and the boosted performance is actually pretty good. And I want to run this method once more again just to kind of show you that the values would be set to 5, just to make sure that this new way of doing things is working properly. So if you look at this one, if I look at my class list and I look at as any random value, you can see it is being set to 5. So all I'm saying is that if your use case is such that you are going to use that delegate getter and setter frequently, you might want to consider caching it and then just use the cached delegates. That could possibly provide you with a performance boost. And the reason this is a bit faster is because every time the reflection has to go through all this, it has to go through security checks, kind of dynamic checks and whatnot, and it can be a bit slow. So hopefully you might find this useful in your programming. Thanks a lot.